Hello everyone, Jeff here with you for episode number 19 of the Wednesday Night Wrestling Blitz on YouTube. This is a GMT Express add-on. Let's get right into it. We begin with NXT first. It took place from Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida. Opening match on the card had Dominic Dijakovic taking on Cameron Grimes. I thought the match was okay. Damian Priest attacked Dijakovic during the match, ultimately injuring his knee. He was selling the injury, Dijakovic was, and ultimately allowing Cameron Grimes to hit the cave-in to win the match in a bit of a surprise here. So Cameron Grimes gets a big win here. Dijakovic and Keith Lee, obviously, they're going to have that match at some point. Kind of maybe putting it on ease for the time being, but we're going to get that match at some point. William Regal announced the tournament for the women's division with the finalists competing in a ladder match in NXT TakeOver Tampa Bay. Now, Rhea Ripley will not be defending that NXT Women's title at TakeOver due to her match the following night at WrestleMania, so the winner of this tournament will be named the new number one contender, and we'll see where it goes from there. Finn Balor was out for his promo talking about his next move in NXT. He doesn't get very far. He was interrupted by members of Imperium here, who said that Walter sends his regards because he wasn't there. We ultimately get a little brawl here with Finn Balor and the two members of Imperium here. He fought him off for a while, Finn Balor did, but ultimately the numbers game caught up and Imperium did a number on him. So I wonder if they may be thinking about turning Finn Balor babyface, because it appears we're going to be getting a Finn Balor-Walter match at some point. That could be coming up at the NXT TakeOver event in Tampa Bay. We'll have to wait and see. Xia Li and Mia Yim were out for a match next. The match was going on. It was interrupted by Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. They just, went on and cut promos here. And actually, Xia Li actually pinned and rolled up Mia Yim to get the win here. A bit of a surprise here. After the match, Mia Yim and Raquel Gonzalez brawled, and then which ultimately allowed Gonzalez to get the advantage and do a number. So maybe setting up something for those two going forward. Tommaso Ciampa and Austin Theory had a match here next. The match was fine. I mean, never in doubt here. Tommaso Ciampa won with the fairy tale ending. After the match, Johnny Gargano attacked Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa got the better of Gargano until a distraction from Austin Theory allowed Gargano to hit a super kick, and Gargano sat on the ring apron near the fallen Tommaso Ciampa and clapped sarcastically. So it appears they're having Gargano, Gargano's playing the heel here, and Tommaso Ciampa's playing the babyface. It's kind of a role reversal from the last time. Can't wait to see that match, and we know it's coming. Probably it could even be at WrestleMania, so we'll be looking forward to that. We had Killian Dane taking on Bronson Reed here in the next match. Pretty basic stuff. Killian Dane won with the Vader Bomb here, so he gets a nice win. And on next week's show, it was announced that there will be two cage matches. We have Tegan Knox taking on Dakota Kai in a cage. That should be pretty good. And we have Roderick Strong taking on Velveteen Dream here. Now, it's pretty obvious why they're doing these cage matches. And surely we all know it has to do with AEW kicking NXT's rear in the ratings. So that's clearly why they're doing this. They're trying to get a ratings bump here. So we have that. We had the Grizzled Young Veterans taking on the Forgotten Sons in our next contest here. The match is fine, I thought. Grizzled Young Veterans get the win. They hit the ticket to Mayhem, I should say, and got the win in this tag team encounter. Your main event for the night had Charlotte Flair coming down from the main roster, or actually going up from the main roster, depending on how you look at it. She was taking on Bianca Belair here. They had the match. I thought it was okay. I thought it could have been better. Just my opinion watching it. At one point near the end here, Charlotte Flair no-sold a spear and then ultimately hit a spear of her own, followed by natural selection, and she actually got the win on Bianca Belair, which was, what are you going to do? Afterwards, Charlotte Flair tried to attack Bianca Belair with a chair, but Rhea Ripley came out to make the save, and that's how they went off the air. I don't know. I thought this match, it was okay. I mean, it felt kind of sloppy, like the chemistry wasn't all that great, but Charlotte got the win here. I mean, whatever. What are you going to do? So, obviously, we're more than likely getting a triple threat match with Charlotte, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair at WrestleMania for the NXT Women's title. So, that was NXT. That took place from Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida. Let's talk AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite. It took place from the Silverstein Eye Center Arena in Kansas City, Missouri. They opened with the 30-minute Iron Man match. We had Omega taking on Pac here. This was everything you expected it to be. Omega won the first fall by disqualification when Pac attacked him with a steel chair. And Pac immediately got the win back by hitting the Black Arrow on the injured Omega after selling the chair shot. And then, so we were tied at 1 pretty quickly here. And then they just kept going on here. Both men were almost counted out after a shooting star press from the top rope through a table by Pac, but Pac got back in, and Omega barely got in thanks to the Bucks who were out in his corner. Omega was able to withstand the brutalizer in the last few minutes here, refusing to submit, and then time ran out, so we were tied after 30 minutes here. Pac forearmed the referee in the face. Justin Roberts announced that the match would go on via sudden death rules. And then Omega eventually won the match with the One Wing Angel quickly in the sudden death situation. So Omega gets a win here, as he should have, but still, I thought this was a very good match. So after the match, Tony Schiavone interviewed Pac and got on him for not winning the match. Ultimately, we see Orange Cassidy come out here for reasons that were unexplained, and then Pac just did a number and laid him out. So that match has since been announced for the Revolution show, which we're going to go over the preview and predictions for that here in this review after I'm done reviewing this. We had the Jungle Express, that's Luchasaurus, Marco Stunt, and Jungle Boy. They took on the members of the Inner Circle here, being Santana Ortiz and Sammy Guevara. The match goes on here. Darby Allin arrived to prevent Sammy Guevara from cheating. Jungle Boy used the distraction to pin Sammy Guevara with the Hurricanrana, so the Jungle Express get a win here over the Inner Circle members. Afterwards, Darby Allin dumped Guevara over the top rope onto Santana Ortiz, and then delivered another quote-unquote promo with the signs during the picture-in-picture, so because he's still selling the attack from the skateboards a few weeks back, so he can't really talk yet, so that's what's going on here. We had the Best Friends taking on the Butcher and the Blade. Of course, they're out there with the Bunny. The Best Friends actually wind up getting the win here. They won with the Strong Zero. After the match, it was officially announced that Pac will be taking on Orange Cassidy for Revolution. And then Chuck Taylor, of course, saying that Orange is going to try, and the crowd chanting, he will try, and Orange gave the thumbs up. So the people really are into this Orange Cassidy. I mean, the guy's cool. I mean, the guy, he's one of the most over people in all professional wrestling, and he barely does anything. So they're going to have this match, and we'll talk about it, like I said, when we get to the predictions. We had a 4-woman match here next. Here we had Akira Shida, Big Swole, Yaki Sakazawa, and Shayna, I should say, in this next match here. 4-woman match here. Akira Shida actually gets a win here. Comes out, gets the win here. She won the match by hitting a running knee strike onto Swole to win the match. So Akira Shida gets a big win here, and as she's the number 3 ranked in the women's division here, so big win for her. Next up, we had Jim Ross. He had a sit-down interview with the participants of the AEW Tag Team title match. We had Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, of course. These are the participants. Page and the Young Bucks got into an argument with the Bucks, saying that Page was, quote, just a jobber in Ring of Honor. That was a big money line in this. And then they made him a star by letting him into their club, being the Elite, of course. So he can't leave the group, and then basically Page just gets up and leaves, and then Omega, he's just kind of there, but we'll talk about that match as well in the predictions, but just one of those things, I guess. It was announced that a new AEW signee, Lance Archer, will be on next week's Dynamite. He'll be making his debut, so we'll be looking forward to that. That should be pretty big. And they closed the show here with the Moxley-Jericho weigh-in for Revolution. It was hosted by Gary Michael Capetta, of course, the longtime ring announcer for WCW, so he was moderating this. Jericho goaded the crowd and stalled until Moxley headbutted him in the face, busting him open. The Inner Circle went after Moxley. Dustin Rhodes came out to run off Jake Hager, and they were fighting up into the arena concourse. Some good stuff here. Darby Allin tried to get in and help as well, but he got the skateboard broken over his head by Sammy Guevara. And then Jericho gave Moxley a paradigm shift onto the weigh-in podium and stood tall with the AEW Championship over his head as they went off the air. So Jericho left looking strong here. So, yeah, that was some pretty good stuff. I mean, obviously, you knew this weigh-in stuff was going to break down into a big brawl, obviously tying in some of the matches on this card. So, I mean, that's what it was. So that was AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite. It took place from the Silverstein Ice Center Arena in Kansas City, Missouri. Let me give you my thoughts. My pick of the week, it's pretty simple. I thought AEW was the better show. They are my pick of the week. I thought from start to finish, I thought their action was better. NXT, really not a whole lot wrong with it again, but I thought the Charlotte Flair-Bianca Belair match was kind of like, could have been better, but I thought AEW again was the better show, so I have, through 19 episodes, I have NXT with 11 picks and AEW with 8 picks, so we have that. Real quick, let's go over the ratings. They're in for the week. AEW once again won in the ratings. They won pretty handily despite both shows being down from last week. AEW had 865,000 viewers. NXT had 717,000 viewers. AEW won in all the demos for the very first time, including the 50-plus demo, which NXT usually always wins, but not this time. So, AEW obviously building towards Revolution here. They get a big win here in NXT. There's the matches I think are fine. It just feels like there's a spark missing. I'm not sure what it is, but it just something's not there. Now I know they have 2 cage matches coming up this week. This is obviously an attempt to try to get ratings here and try to beat AEW in the ratings. So that's what we had there. So through 21 head-to-heads, AEW leads 17 weeks to NXT's 3 weeks and then the 1 tie. So that's what we have is there for the ratings. Let's go over AEW Revolution. It's taking place from the Wintrust Arena in Chicago, Illinois. Should be a pretty good card. It's 7 o'clock p.m. pre-show. The actual event starts at 8 o'clock. Let's go over the matches as we have them here on the card. Tag team action, we have Evil Uno and Grayson of the Dark Order. They're going to take on Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky of SCU. A lot of discussion here about Christopher Daniels not being involved. It's possible. They seem to be kind of telegraphing that maybe he'll be the Exalted One of the Dark Order, or joining the Dark Order, which, that could happen. I still think that Matt Hardy would be the likely choice. I know his contract is coming up here pretty soon, and there was a reference on Dynamite this week about Matt Hardy in so many words. So whether that happens or not, we'll have to wait and see. I'm gonna pick Evil Uno and Grayson to get the win here over Kazarian and Scorpio Sky, and we'll see what happens with Christopher Daniels in this situation. We have Pac taking on Orange Cassidy here. Of course, this was a match that was announced on Dynamite this week. Clearly Pac should be winning here. He should destroy Orange Cassidy in the grand scheme here. I'm just going to pick Pac just for the obvious, so we have that. Darby Allin's taking on Sammy Guevara here. Obviously, Guevara got his heat in on Allin this week, which pretty much, I think, tells the tale that Darby Allin's going to win here. He's going to get the retribution. I think it's a good match. All these matches, I think, on this card are pretty good. I think Darby Allin does get the win here and get some retribution, so I'm picking him. Jake Hager of the Inner Circle is taking on Dustin Rhodes. This is one of the matches I'm actually looking forward to seeing. Pretty good stuff here. Dustin Rhodes, this guy's turned back the hands of time since coming to AEW. The guy's been unbelievable. Jake Hager, this is his first match in AEW since coming in. There's no way you have Hager lose here. I know this is have this match in effect because of what happened when they did the deal with Dustin Rhodes' arm in the car a while back. I got to pick Jake Hager here. He needs, I think a win here for him is important, so I'll pick him. Cody Rhodes is taking on MJF. What a confrontation this is going to be. Can't wait to see it. Obviously you have Warlord out there with MJF. I'm assuming Arn Anderson and Brandy are going to be out there with Cody. Could they do a deal where maybe Brandy or Arn, one or the other, turns on Cody? It could happen. I don't know why they would do it, though. I have to go with Cody, though. Cody's got to get the win here, I have to think. MJF's pretty much, for the most part, gotten the better of him, but I have to pick Cody here. Cody's got to get his win here. AEW World Tag Team title match. We have Kenny Omega and Hangman Page, your champions, taking on the Young Bucks here. Interesting to see what's going to happen here. A lot of discussion about Page finally turning on Omega. Perhaps it's Omega who turns on Page. Or maybe one or the other, but for some reason I still think they're going to leave with the titles. I don't think the Young Bucks are winning the titles just yet. It's almost too obvious to have the Young Bucks win here, but that's why I'm going to have Omega and Page retain. I'm going to go against the grain. AEW Women's title match, we have Nyla Rose defending the title against Kris Statlander. This should be a good match. Obviously, with Nyla Rose holding the title, you give it some credibility, and it's nothing against Rio personally, but Rio's run as the AEW Women's Champion just didn't do anything for me personally. I think Nyla Rose is more of a legitimate champion here. You could say what you want about her. She just brings credibility to the title. Chris Statlander, I think it's way too early to take the title off Nyla Rose. She just got the title. No reason for her to drop the title this soon. I mean, it's going to be at the expense of Chris Statlander. I think the match will be good, but I think Nyla Rose will win and should retain, as we think that's going to happen. So I'm picking her to retain. Finally, in your main event for the AEW World title, we have Chris Jericho, the Le Champion, and he is going to be taking on Moxley here. Of course, Jericho got his heat in on Moxley to close out Dynamite this week at the weigh-in. So this should be a good match. I think they're doing the title change. I'm picking Moxley. Moxley should win the title at some point. I think they do it here to get people talking. So I'm picking Jon Moxley to win the AEW World title as they go off the air. So that is my official preview and predictions for AEW Revolution that's taking place this weekend from the Wintrust Arena in Chicago, Illinois. Let me know down in the comment section below what your favorite moment from Wednesday's wrestling action was. We'll see you the next time with the next Wednesday Night Wrestling Blitz here on YouTube. Bye for now, everyone.